Well, hey there, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day or night, and welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Deluxe. All right, let's do another freaking Transformer review because I love some freaking Transformers. Been looking forward to this guy. Got this in today. This is Cang-Toys. I know I'm going to screw up this name. Blacanidae, I think is what it is. So this is their version either of a Shrapnel or a Chop Shop. This is highly stylized Decepticons. So I think it's probably Shrapnel, I think, maybe. I don't know, maybe Chop Shop. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe they'll recolor him to be Chop Shop. But there you go. It's beautiful artwork. Love it. Got the Cang-Toys and everything. Then on the side, he is a Beetle. Everything. Then on the back, got that. And on the side, you got some holes right there. Then you got this right here. And this right here, which I don't know. Probably maybe it says Cang-Toys. China Model Toys, Treasure Gallery, all that good stuff. But anyways, hit me up some likes, shares, prayers, and care bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. It all helps out the channel. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Everything's in the description. I really appreciate that. I got this at Show Z like I normally do. So go over there and buy you some Transformers. Up at the top, use Deluxe 32. Really helps out the channel. Shows that it shows them that you bought stuff from me and everything. So that'd be pretty cool. And yeah, let's just get right to it. Let's talk about some Cang-Toys and Decepticons. All right. All right, let's take a quick look what he comes with. He doesn't come very much, so he comes with this nice, beautiful card. Beautiful. Well done on the back. It says Transage. There you go. But yeah, very nicely done on there. And you get instructions as always. Nicely done. Got some nice big pictures. Beautiful shots right there of him and everything. But yeah, really nice. Easy to follow, looks like, so that's pretty good. All right. And he comes with his weapons, and they're nicely done. Beautiful paint. As always, Cang-Toys does a great job. You got the gold, gunmetal, silver, and the silver. Looks good. Really nice. So you can do that. So you can hold them, or you can stick them on his back and everything. I'll show you that later on. But very nicely done. They are a little sharp. Be careful with that. Yeah, there you go. That is what he comes with. Alrighty, here is Shrapnel. I'm just going to call him Shrapnel in his alt mode. And I think it looks freaking awesome, wicked, just cool looking, man. A lot of beautiful paint, man. This is nice. The gold, gunmetal, silver, red, purple. Looks really freaking awesome. I love the little pinchers, man. They look good on him. Looks very nice. Got the eyes right here. Nice right there. Got some tampo stickers throughout, just like Cang-Toys always does. Here's the back of it. You can tell those are the legs folded up a little bit. I think they hide pretty much the roll bit pieces pretty good. Here's around there. Here's underneath. You like to see that kind of thing. A lot of stuff going on right there. All right, so as far as articulation for this guy, he can move a little bit right here so you can close the pinchers and everything like that. They're just tabbed into this right here. Little posts right here, they're tabbed in right there. So you just do that, so you can move them a little bit right there. Don't move them too hard because you can't. They will untab, or slip off and everything like that. Now for the legs, they are pretty well articulated. So you got the hinges up here and there like that, hinge right there, and that's about it right there. Then same thing for here, hinges and everything like that, hinges and everything, swivels. So very nicely done. So he can hold himself up. So that is good. You can move them like that. And you can have them sitting up like this if you want to. So very nicely done. And that's about it for articulation. So there he is. I think it looks freaking awesome. I can't wait for the other two, man. So there's Shrapnel in his alt mode. Alrighty, there's Wheelie. It's a lot bigger than the Legend scale. There's Magic Square Prowl. There's New Age Toxitron. Here's Red Alert from Siege. Dustbuster Jazz. And we'll throw in here is Hot Rod from the Alternators. And last one we got Fanstoys, and there is Jazz. And there you go, there's some scale. He's a big old Beetle. Alrighty, back from transformation. Here is Shrapnel. Overall transformation is not bad. Just gotta get used to it. You know, you gotta move stuff around, especially with the legs and everything, get them situated. And with the bug legs, the beetle legs and everything, it does got some loud squeaks. And also when transforming him, golly, you have to get this situated and everything the right way. So just be wary of that. But the transformation is not bad at all. Kind of quite easy. I like how the legs transform. It's pretty good. But yeah, here is the head sculpt. I think it looks really good. The paint is spectacular as always with Cang-Toys. Got nice temple stickers and everything. But yeah, you got the nice gold, gunmetal silver with the red eyes. Looks really good. So as far as articulation, you can look down quite a bit. Look up quite a bit on like a hinge ball peg thing. Then you can go around. Be careful with the chin. We'll start hitting right there on the side. So you kind of got to lift it up and everything. But get decent amount right there and give it a little attitude. So that's pretty cool. All right. So with the 80s woodworking shoulder pads, you got this right here. So you may have to move these. Like I said, they're on like a little hinge right here. And you can move those on right because you're going to have to kind of move these out of the way. Kind of reminds me of like Iron Factory Samurai series stuff, the Legends. You have to move stuff out of the way. But there are some squeaky squeaks. So you can get out to about right there, about 9 degrees and everything. But you kind of, got to move these out of the way. You can go all the way around, which is good. You do have a nice elbow bend. It's a little double elbow bend. You do got some die cast right here. You got some die cast on the back of the knee right there. So you got that elbow move. You got a bicep swivel, which is good. You got a swivel of the hand and an in and out just because of transformation. These don't really tab in. I wish they kind of did, but they just kind of sit in there and they can move. They're on a hinge and swivel and everything, just like in Beetle mode. Now the back thing right here, like I said, you can have it. I've seen it. Like I said, this is the correct way, or this is what it says in the instructions and everything. But you can turn this around. You can have the gold and red piece around and everything. But this is on a hinge and a swivel, so you can get this out to there and everything. So you can kind of move that out of the way if you want to. And there's on hinges arm right here too as well. All right, so move the arms out right there. And like I said, you will have to move these out of the way to get the waist swivel. So if you don't get this out of the way, you will start running into stuff and everything, run into plastic and everything, rubbing that. Doesn't have a ab crunch, nor it doesn't have a butterfly. Kind of wish it did have an ab crunch because for a third party, I think most third party now, do have ab crunches, especially with a masterpiece figure. But then you got the skirts. You can lift these up right here. And this is going to be loud. This one is really loud. This is like Fanstoys Squeak, like times 10. Golly. So you got the Van Dam all day, every day. Jeebus. And you kick up to about right there, which is good. If you want to kick back, you got to move this. This is on a hinge right here as well, so you can move back. The bug legs will get in the way, but you can move back a little bit. Not much. You do got a thigh swivel about to right there. You do got a nice knee bend, double knee bend. Like I said, die cast right there. All right, moving on down to the feet. So you got a swivel like that. You do got a downwards, backwards like that. This doesn't really tab in, so if you do move this back, it will kind of look like it's going out of place. And you do have a nice rocker. And you do have the backpack and everything. Like I said, you can have it the way you want to. You can turn it around if you want. And the butt flap. So like I said, there you go. There is articulation for him. All right, so there's 2 options you can do with the weapons. So just take that out. You're going to flip it down like that. And then you're just going to find the hole and stick it in there, giggity. And close up the hand. And you can hold it like that and turn it around. Or you can go from underneath, up from the bottom of the hand and hold it like that if you want to. So that's cool. And then you take those out and you can put them on his back too as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift this up. Like I said, it's on a hinge. You may move your head down like that on the hinge right there. There's 2 little posts right there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take this and close that up and then just kind of slide that in right there like a tab right there. And then do the same thing over here. Find it. There we go. And then just slide it in right there. Like that. you go. And then just push this down like that. And they have movements. You can do, you know, close it in a little bit if you want to, or you can spread them out however far you want. Well, not as far as you want, but you can get a pretty good distance. But yeah, there you go. There's your two options for your weapons. All right, so there's MP44 Optimus Prime. You got X-Transbots, Bulkhead, and you got First Aid back there. I threw in DX9 Sideswipe. You got Takara Masterpiece Sideswipe. Then I threw in some Chug stuff. There's 86 Studio Series Prime. There's Sideswipe, and then I threw in Tis McGee Retgar. And there's some scale for you. And Crapagonics, Crappy Toilet Paper, AAA Battery, Carmex, Care Bears, Kicker, and Squeaks. More scale. Well, hey there, everybody. You made it this far as always. I freaking appreciate that. All right, final thoughts on Cang-Toys. This is Blacanidae, I think it is. I'm probably not how you say it, but I tried. This is their Shrapnel from Decepticons and everything. So I have some mixed feelings about this guy. First of all, I love the way he looks. I love this kind of a ninja, kind of samurai series thing going on. Looks really good. The paint is spectacular, like always with Cang-Toys. The purple, the silver, the gold, the red. Got some red in there as well. Great job on the paint as always. Now, issues I really have with this, it kind of feels like Mech Invasion, you know, with their Constructicons. They have that masterpiece, you know, MP, you know, presence, but they feel chug because it feels really light. Now, it does have a little die cast got on the back of the knee and on the elbows and everything, but when you first pick him up, he really just feels hollow, to be honest. And, you know, he does have, I didn't point this out, he does have some waffles on the back of his arms and back here on the legs, which I like the legs. That looks pretty cool. Kind of looks like a cobra thing like there, but he does have some, you know, hollowness, which, you know, I don't really see that a lot with third party. It happens once in a while, but not very often. It's more of a Hasbro thing. But so, yeah, it just feels kind of light. Like I said, I don't think I was going to break anything. The plastic feels good, but it just feels hollow. If that makes sense and everything. Let's see. The Beetle mode looks pretty good. I like it. You know, I like the way it looks with the big old eyes and everything. Like I said, the paint still shines with that. Transformation, I already mentioned the transformation is fine. It's just you have to move stuff around, especially the, you know, the legs and everything, how to situate those and everything. Articulation's really lacking, especially with the way he looks. You know, you think he would have, you know, just, you know, outstanding articulation, but no ab crunch, no butterfly, anything like that. The legs are pretty articulated really well. I did take some pictures and I did get some good, you know, poses and everything, but it'd be really cool if he had an ab crunch and some, you know, stuff like that. So really kind of lacking on the articulation. It's kind of, you know, upset, you know, disappointed with that and everything. Like I said, the materials, I love the sculpt of it. Like I said, it looks great. You know, with the, you know, the head sculpt looks good. I love that you can use the weapons. The weapons are beautiful once again, painted and everything. But I like how you can, I love how they look right there and you can hold them. So that's pretty cool. You can use these as weapons too if you want to. I didn't mention that, but you can flip them out and kind of use them as blades or something if you want. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it just feels like it's got the MP, you know, presence there, but it just feels chug, you know, with the hands, you know, with them all just being on one pin, kind of curved. And the thumb doesn't move. It just kind of, you know, thinks of chug, you know, everything like that. Just like Mech Invasion, you know, with their Constructicons and everything. But I do recommend it. He's really, you know, fun. It looks really good. I can't wait for the other ones. I think they're going to look great together. It's just kind of disappointing from stuff and everything. And so, yeah. But hope you like my review. Hit me up some likes, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. Hit me some comments. Tell me about the review. Have you got this guy yet? What do you think of him? And yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next transfer review. And as always, follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and also go to Show Z. That's where I got this guy. Up at the top, hit Deluxe 32. Buy you some Transformer. Get this guy because he looks really good on the shelf and everything. And yeah, as always, be good to yourself, man. Help freaking Transformers and help freaking Cang-Toys. Can't wait for the rest of the Dinobots. They got 4 sets of Dinobots coming out. They got. Wonder what they're going to do. I wish they could do a Abominus. I really think they could do a bomb that's really good. I think that'd be pretty cool. Terracons and everything. And I'm going to karate kick. Oh, yeah, I'm going to karate kick baby and everything. The squeakiness, that is really loud. My goodness, that is bad. I need to get some oil or something like that and just squeak up in there, giggity, and everything. And, you know, it's got squeakies right there. So just be wary of that. You know, it's going to be a little loud and everything. So, yeah, good night, folks.